7. Barrett outside, the switch. Doncic goes, oh, what a great step! And then he hammers it home! Broke his ankles!
Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. I really appreciate you guys tuning in as the New York Knicks just came out victorious up against the Detroit Pistons on the road, who has the worst record in the NBA. No Marvin Bagley, no Cade Cunningham, obviously out with that shin injury for the rest of the season. No Bogdanovich, no Duren. They had tons of injuries entering this game, so there was no excuses. One of the worst teams in basketball. You have to find a way to win, and they did. They ended up taking care of business at the end of that fourth quarter, but there definitely was some scary moments. The New York Knicks continued to improve on the road. We definitely have work to do when it comes to at home, and now we've won 12 games in a row up against the Detroit Pistons. We have definitely owned them the last few games, but I love the way the New York Knicks started off in this basketball game. Julius Randle ends up hitting a three ball at the beginning of this game, and that really set the tone for Julius Randle for 4 quarters of basketball. I thought this was one of his most complete games. Yes, it's up against the Pistons, but it's still an NBA team at the end of the day. But he stepped up in the fourth quarter. He stepped up in every quarter when we have this 20-point lead. The New York Knicks are just taking the Pistons to school. We're up 17 points at the end of that first quarter. Grimes knocks down a couple threes. He has a lethal first step that I think he does a good job utilizing, not just when it comes to scoring. He had a very nice finish using that first step, but he does a really good job when he dribble penetrates, blows by his on-ball defender, and does a good job dumping it inside to a Mitchell Robinson or Julius Randle or Hartenstein, whoever is there in the interior. And I didn't think anyone necessarily played good defensively. This game wasn't the best defensive game, to be completely honest with you guys. In that first quarter, in the very beginning of the second quarter, I thought we played some swarming defense and we did a good job rotating over, communicating out there on the basketball floor. So you could say there was some good defense, but also the Pistons were just straight up missing shots in that first quarter. Killian Hayes was just straight up, he was just missing open threes. He was missing shots when it came to mid-range territory. They just couldn't buy a shot to save their lives at all. But the New York Knicks were just beast on boards. Julius Randle had a double-digit first quarter. Jalen Brunson, he continued to be as steady as they come when it comes to the point guard position. He had another good game scoring the basketball, 27 points, and just overall Randle, 42 points in this game, and he was extremely efficient. I loved his overall approach in this game. He worked downhill when he recognized mismatches like Kevin Knox. He's like, I'm stronger than Kevin Knox. I'm taking him to the rack. Killian Hayes, mismatch. I'm working downhill, and no one rotated over to help. He had a strong offensive rebound as well. He pump fake, put it up and in, and finished very strong at the basket. Made some nice reads. Only had 1 turnover. Was a beast on the glass. He just played so aggressive. I've loved his attitude this year, and I know it's the Pistons, but 42 points, it's still impressive at the end of the day, and he was very efficient from beyond the arc. I believe he shot 50% from 3. He was drawing fouls. Randle was definitely one of the key reasons we won this game. So I love the ball movement. I thought it was very contagious moving on. Early on, RJ Barrett, you could say, was probably the only negative in that first quarter because Mitch, I believe, had 2 or 3 blocks in that first half. He had some very nice hustle plays. Overall, I thought he had to do a better job rebounding when it came to that fourth quarter. We just allow so many offensive rebounds. It's ridiculous when it comes to the fourth quarter. It just absolutely haunts us. But I didn't think RJ was I didn't think he was out of control. He just straight up missed some shots early on. And he didn't have some crazy statistical game, but throughout the game, I didn't think he played out of control. He had a couple stretches that he finished very well at the basket. Eventually he did knock down, I believe, he knocked down a couple threes in this game at the top of my head, but he had to knock down his free throws. He really struggled from the free throw line. He did a good job drawing fouls, but he could add more points if he just knocked down shots from the free throw line to become completely real with you guys. And I thought he made some nice reads out there as well. Specifically, one really nice pass to Obi Toppin, but Obi Toppin ended up missing a bunny when it came to the interior. He did miss an open 3. Not much Obi Toppin action when I'm just really going through this game. At the top of my head, Obi Toppin didn't really play much, but I thought the New York Knicks played excellent when it came to that first quarter. Defensively, offensively, Brunson getting to that mid-range. He knocked down a couple threes, drove to the basket, and he made some solid reads out there. We're up 17 after that first quarter. The Pistons really couldn't get anything going outside of Sadiq Bey in that first quarter. But the second quarter, I didn't really like our approach. I thought the ball movement wasn't really there as much. I thought there was too much dribbling. I thought we were pretty stagnant within the offense. We had some rough patches offensively that we weren't consistently scoring the ball. The second unit offensively was honestly a hot mess. Because, yes, McBride's really going to compete defensively, but you never know what you're going to get out of him offensively. Maybe occasionally, a game, he'll have 2 threes, but didn't do much offensively. Didn't feel like he played a lot in this game. He played hard. Obviously, he's going to hustle out there on the floor. Same thing with Hartenstein. I didn't think this was one of his worst games, honestly. I know some people, as soon as he steps in the game, they're going to be like, take him out. And I'm not a huge Hartenstein fan, but he had a very nice play in this game that I believe Randle made a very nice pass to Hartenstein. Hartenstein was too strong. He finished through the contact, had a huge and one. I believe he had a tip out in this game as well. But yeah, offensively, that second unit is just a complete hot mess outside of Emmanuel Quickly, because Quickly was brilliant in this game. As soon as Quickly comes in the game, he does a good job dribble penetrating. He knocked down some huge threes in this game as well, because this was cut to a 13-point game in the second quarter, and then eventually was cut to a 10-point game at halftime. Because I know like some Knicks fans may hear, oh, we're up 10 at halftime, that's great up against a Pistons team that's not so good. But then you hear that you're up 20 points at one point, and it sounded like you were going to absolutely take care of this game, but I thought there was too much dribbling. I didn't think we were moving the ball as much when it came to that second quarter. You had like a good amount of players, or a decent amount of players, really get theirs in this game. I believe Saddiq Bey had over 20 points. I thought we weren't rotating over. I thought we kind of relaxed too much on defense, but Saddiq Bey hit some threes. Alec Burks came in the game. He knocked down some threes or did a good job scoring the basketball. Even Kevin Knox. There was times that we closed out on Kevin Knox, but Kevin Knox like blew by an RJ or blew by a Randle at times. So credit to Knox for drawing fouls a couple times, working down the lane, knocking down some threes in this game. He was one of the main reasons they honestly gained some momentum. So credit to Kevin Knox for sure. I'm actually really happy for him. He was nothing but a professional when he was here with the New York Knicks. Was he the best player? No. You could also say we kind of dealt him a weird hand when it came to cards or whatever. But yeah, Kevin Knox, credit to him. I thought he rebounded well. I thought he scored well. But there were some moments that Randle just took advantage of him defensively, to be completely real with you guys. And like, he couldn't do anything with Randle. But Isaiah Livers was knocking down some threes. He's been a solid 3-point shooter since Michigan. Isaiah Stewart, I thought he played extremely hard out there on the floor. You have to give credit to the Pistons. Yes, they didn't have Marvin Bagley. Yes, they don't have Cade Cunningham right now. They don't have Duren. They don't have Bogdanovich, who's someone that's kind of known for killing us since he was back with the Utah Jazz. But they made it a competitive game, and they fought really hard on the boards, and the offense got really stagnant. But when the starters did get in, I thought the offense started to click a little more. And credit to these two guys. You have to give credit to Julius Randle. You got to give credit to Jalen Brunson. When the Pistons would go on a run, because the Pistons didn't have a lead this entire game, but it would go from a 20-point game, it would from 13 to 10, and then the third quarter was pretty scary, or the end of that second quarter, they're only down 10 after that second quarter when they were down 20 at one point. When they would get some things clicking offensively, the three ball hurt us the most, because in that third quarter, then you have like Jaden Ivey getting it going. Jaden Ivey hits 2 threes early, and he's an interesting player to guard because he's so fast, because he's so twitchy. He does a good job catching the defense on their heels. Like, as soon as they inbound the basketball, you have to look out for this dude. He's been a blur since Purdue, the hesitations and all that. So he does hit a couple threes early in that third quarter, and I believe it's cut to like a single-digit lead like very early on. But credit to Jalen Brunson. When they would get it really close, Jalen Brunson, timely bucket. Julius Randle had a huge timely three in that fourth quarter when the shot clock was winding down as well. Quickly even hit a couple threes that I believe hurt the Detroit Pistons when they were coming back. So credit to the Pistons. They really did fight hard in this basketball game. But when it came to that third quarter, the Pistons were just killing us from three. I thought we had to do a better job communicating. I don't know if it's a defensive scheme, but sometimes I'm just like, how is someone open from three? Again, that's just unacceptable, the way they've been shooting the basketball. I just really don't understand it. But that was the quarter that Kevin Knox really went off, and that was the quarter that Saddiq Bey ended up having over 20 points. But due to Jalen Brunson and due to Randle, Brunson, just his bag is just one of the most underrated in the game. And he just has such great fundamentals, because when you are only 6'1", or he's listed as 6'1", some people believe he's 6 foot, you have to have a decent bag, or you have to have a good bag. You have to really be down with your fundamentals. And we started to go away from too much dribbling, but there was times he's like, I need to score the basketball. He would go to that half spin on Kevin Knox, put up a floater. It doesn't matter what players on him, but we have seen in that series when he was with the Mavericks, when there's athletic guys with long wingspans, definitely can take advantage of Brunson at times on the defense side of the basketball. But Brunson, I thought, was pretty solid defensively. I thought he did a good job sacrificing his body. He got up in Killian Hayes' jersey as well. That didn't have an efficient game at all, and he's been playing some pretty solid basketball lately. But he drew 3 charges in this game, and I looked up what's the record for the most charges drawn in a game. But then I saw never mind, he's not even close, because Kyle Lowry had 3 charges drawn in a first half back when he was with the Toronto Raptors. But he did a good job sacrificing his body. I thought he was smart out there. He's efficient, mid-range, 3-point, working down the lane. It hurt that he didn't get that 30-point game. He ended up finishing with 27 points. But yeah, we have a kind of comfortable lead entering that fourth quarter. Not like a 20-point lead comfortable, but near double digit. It's not a 2 or 3 point game, which I'm pretty happy about. I'm not happy about it, but I'm like, it can be a lot worse. But at the beginning of that fourth quarter, like 4 minutes in, we have a drought that we don't score for 3 minutes and 55 seconds. I'm like, all right, this hurts because the Pistons are at home. They have young players. They're going to have tons of momentum. The last thing you want is giving young, unexperienced players confidence. You don't want that at the end of the day. And we're starting to give up some second chance opportunities. I'm like, what's up with the New York Knicks and giving up second chance opportunities in the fourth quarter? Before, it was like the third quarter that we fold, but now it's the fourth quarter. That's starting to become our history that we definitely need to fix. And 1-3 that definitely hurt, that cut it to a 7-point game, is when the Pistons got an offensive rebound, kicked it out to Alec Burks for a 3. And Alec Burks, he was a beast in this game. Yeah, I'll have nothing but respect for Alec Burks. He stepped up he stepped up big time in Game 2 of the playoffs versus the Hawks. Derrick Rose as well. But again, as soon as the Pistons were like gaining momentum, it's a 6 or 7-point game. Julius Randle, very, very difficult shot. And Livers hit a huge 3 in this game as well to cut it to a 7-point game. It would go from us being up like 9 or 10 points, 7-point game, back to 10 or 11 or like 7 points. But then Brunson would always hit a big shot and Randle would always hit a big shot. Or even when it looked like we're going to go away offensively, the Pistons, they executed offensively. But you could say there was times they didn't execute when they really, really needed to execute to make it a 3 or 4 point game. But straight up, when they're knocking down these threes, I'm like, we have to rotate better on the defense side of the basketball. And when they cut it to 7, I believe there's like 3 minutes left in this instance. And after he hit the shot, I was like, I have a feeling we're winning this game. The momentum really shifted because I felt like the Pistons were just starting to get frustrated. They keep on getting it close. But then Randle, the shot clock's winding down. There's like 3, 2, 1. Like the shot clock looks like it's about to expire. Randle kills them with a step back 3 ball, and he puts it in. So the fourth quarter is winding down. The Pistons start to get stagnant offensively. They're not really clicking as much, and the Pistons were getting a flow like before Randle knocked down that shot, so it really hurt them. And then after that, when the Pistons don't execute offensively, Julius Randle, huge mid-range jumper, and then we're up 11 points. It was or not a mid-range jumper, it was like kind of a floater that I'm not going to lie, I thought was a travel. This was a physical game, though. I really loved watching this game. I thought it wasn't going to be that exciting, but I guess when you're really into the game of basketball, like a lot of things are just exciting to you, honestly. But we're up 11 in that instance. Julius Randle finished with 42 points. He had 42 points in this game. It was like 15 of 24 from the field, 4 of 8 from 3. Got to the free throw line, rebounded like a beast. He distributed the ball. Maybe a couple times you would have liked to see him put a hand up. Like, I'm not necessarily going to give anyone good credit defensively in this game because I thought we started off well, but the communication, the rotating over, and that one play that really frustrated me when the Pistons inbounded to Isaiah Stewart. It was an inbound lob, and then he threw, and Isaiah Stewart, I believe, threw it down off the inbounds. So we have to be more aware in those situations. Like, maybe that catches any team off guard, but I thought we started off well defensively. I thought Grimes started off well, Mitch with the blocks. But in the second half, I believe we have to be more consistent. We have to move the ball better on a more consistent basis. But Julius Randle, it was one of his most complete games for 4 quarters of basketball. So I'm happy with his performance. Yes, it was the Pistons, but credit to Brunson, credit to Randle. They literally, like, quickly as well, he scored the heck out of the ball. He had like 16 or 18 points, but they were a quiet 16, 18 points. Like, I'm like, damn, okay, he's performing at a high level. Maybe you could say he was pretty solid defensively, and they hit some difficult shots. So I remember when Killian wasn't really cooking, he had a ridiculous fadeaway jumper as well. But the New York Knicks win 117-104. Let me know down below your thoughts on this basketball game. Peace out, y'all.